Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I am Naur Binte Bashar. At first, thanks to my honorable teacher, Iftikhar Alam Ifti sir, to give me opportunity to uh, review this paper. And my paper is formal verification of software architecture description. And I present my review of this paper. Now, first is I discuss about core contribution of this paper. And first is investigation, the role of architectural description. Second is collected and analyzed studies. And third is systematic mapping study in collected and analysis study. Fourth is structured overview and taxonomy of the current state of the art. And finally, elicitation of important issues to be addressed in the future research. Then problem address, that means the author which problem is addressed in this paper. First is one of the major challenge in the design of software intensive system is related to their architecture analysis, and performing such an activity as early as possible is essential to avoid possible incorrectness, inconsistency, and undesirable issues until later phases of the development process, which is when a correction will be surely costly. This is imperatively mainly when dealing the critical nature of many complex systems whose inverse architecture must be verified with respect to their correctness and fulfillment of required behavior and properties of interest. For this purpose, formal architecture description are highly desirable as means of better supporting automated architecture analysis, acknowledged as an important activity in software interest. Then second is a solution for this problem. First is given an overview as identify important issues research, understand how existing future research can be suitable for technical business organizational needs. Second is to reach this goal, we have performed a systematic mapping study, which is very important, like which is identify research gaps or some or comprehensive study or secondary study. This is like this is a systematic mapping study. This is the approach for the formal verification for architectural description. For this goal of systematic mapping, studies published in journals, conference, and workshops are collected from electronic database, systematically analyzed and selected as best fitting a set of inclusion and exclusion criteria. Then again solution. This is the process formally verifying software architecture properties. We see this in this process software architecture specification and properties are input variable. That means these are input variable. Then input translation and model checker. We established a model that means model checking specification input and model checker properties input. Then formal verification execution and output is true or false. That means support properties. If this process is support properties, then it outputs is true, or otherwise if the violation occurs, then output is false. Then solution in details. In systematic mapping study, basic steps are first is planning, which is the protocol defining the research questions to be answered. Second is execution, in which primary studies are identified, selected, and evaluated according to the protocol. Third is reporting or analysis, which is aggregates information extracted from the relevant primary studies, considering the research question and outlines conclusion from them. Then first is research question, aiming at finding primary studies with approaches on the formal verification of software architecture description. Second is search strategy to retrieve from primary studies. We have used an automated search process performed over 4 popular electronic publications database, namely ACM, Digital Library, IEEE Explorer, ScienceDirect.com, and Corpus. And then third is selection criteria. Selection criteria are used to evaluate each primary study according to the defined research question. Now, data extraction and synthesis to extract data from the selected primary studies as well as synthesis that result. A data extraction sheet was built with items related to the research question and other related relevant information. The selection process has five phases. We see that automated search And then filtering used for removal repeated studies or duplicated studies, selection, application selection criteria, title, abstract, and keywords, then selection based on criteria on introduction and conclusion, and then inclusion of possibly relevant studies suggested by expert. Then result from this work, summarize the result of in this paper, author summarize the result of the performance systematic mapping considering the research questions and data structured and synthetic from analyzed primary studies. Then first present a brief overview of the selected primary studies, and then answer to the research question comprising architecture description, property specification, formal verification process. Then I find new findings like there is no widely used in ADL, that means architecture definition language, towards a formal verification process. Most studies both structural, behavioral concern about software architecture when considering for formal verification. Then most authors have preferred to use their own formalism, sometimes combining them with some existing mathematical formalism. Then model checking showed to be most commonly used formal verification technique. Formal verification is often supported by well-known tools such as Apple, PAT, and FDR. FDR, which have been successfully used in both academic and industrial settings. I found these new findings. Then I found some limitation of this paper. First is no clear clarification about scalability concern in formal verification of software. Scalability is most important for model checking. Like some tools we address that UPAL, PAT, FDR. This is formal verification supported tools. We use these tools for scalability concern or usability concern. So no clear clarification about scalability concern in formal verification of software architecture in this paper. Second is listed some threat, but I think there can be another threat like internal threat. We see in this paper some threat, external threat, conclusion threat, constructed. I think another threat can be stay in internal threat, but there is no given that threat in this paper. And then formally, ADLs are rarely used in mainly due to the lack of mature tools and the need of specialized competence for using them. And fourth is not given details about formal verification supported tools like Opal, PAT. I see that, or we see that some tools that are supported formal verification supported tools, but no given details about these tools. Or how these tools are works. And finally, not given clear definition of dynamic concern of formal verification of software architecture. So this is my presentation, and thank you all, and thank you our honorable teacher. Assalamu alaikum.